To quickly get you the markets now. The local bourse continues to be put under pressure by global market forces. Asian markets opening weaker on inflation concerns, and U.S. markets were shaken by comments made the Treasury Secretary on their inflation expectations. The oil prices also softening ahead of an expected OPEC meeting. Well, joining us now to discuss the markets and how the JSE is performing in early trade, Zwelakhe Mnguni is Chief Investment Officer at Benguela Global Fund Managers. Mnguni, thank you very much for your time. Let's start with how the JSE has opened in early trade.
Good morning, Polly. Yeah, certainly the JSE has opened up a tad higher this morning, about a third of a percent. I think the big drivers we see this morning has been the resources sector. The rand has strengthened a bit, but the platinum sector, platinum is over 1,000 now, and that has boosted the platinum counters. I think on the other side, on the financials, we've seen Discovery coming under pressure, but we also saw in the industrial space, Naspers coming under pressure too.
Yeah. Let's talk commodities, oil prices dropping overnight on the news that OPEC would be meeting later. What might come out of those discussions? A possible increase in production, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bet too much on increase in production. I mean, I think what we have to keep in mind is that Russia is a big component of the global oil production. I think the second or third biggest producer globally. So to replace Russia would be impossible. But I think maybe Saudi can add maybe 1 or 2 million barrels over time. It's not something that they can go and turn a switch on. So the market seems to have taken profit in the oil price purely because of expectation that production could be increased. I wouldn't be that optimistic in the short term. I think longer term, what we know is that as the oil price remains persistently high, it tends to have a negative impact on the global economy. And suddenly consumption falls and economies shut down or move into recessions. And it could create a situation where the oil price falls on the back of that.
Yeah.
So it goes higher, put the economies under pressure, and then the economies come under pressure, and eventually the oil price would eventually come under pressure. But I think in the short term, there might be a bit of optimism in the market.
Yeah. Let's talk company news briefly. Santam saying that the April KwaZulu-Natal floods costed over 3 billion rand. How's that likely to affect their operations?
Yeah, it's a massive company. I mean, they've got over 65 billion in assets. So last year, I think they paid about 22 billion in claims out of about 36 billion that they had in gross written premium. So it's unlikely to have any material impact, certainly not a sustained impact. They might have a increased claims this year, but certainly not going to have a material impact. I mean, sometimes a very, very viable business.
Yeah. Let's conclude the conversation with the president announcing, I think it was this week, much earlier in the week, that a new BEE council is going to be formed. Your view about whether this will help improve the business environment for black people?
I'm a bit skeptical, Polly. I think the way BEE has been implemented has been a form of enrichment for the few individuals that end up at the top of such BEE structures. Until BEE is being pronounced to benefit the workers and the society at large. If you take, for example, in the mining sector, why are the BEE partners not the local communities and the employees? What always happens is that you get some key individuals coming at the top, and then you end up with them becoming rich, the rest of the people not benefiting. So I am not very hopeful, but let's see what comes out of that process.
The proof will be in the pudding, or what? What do they say? Okay, I'm actually going to stop with with what is commonly said, because I'm messing it up clearly. Zwelakhe Mnguni, let me thank you very much for your time, Chief Investment Officer
Thank you.
at Benguela Global Fund Managers.